Need to have our morning conversation. A couple of days on TV, if you noticed, when the CS Mutahi Kagwe was giving one of his daily updates, there was a gentleman standing next to him. And that gentleman is with me today. He's the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Richard Ngatia. Karibu sana.
Asante sana Maina.
President wa KNCCI, karibu sana Classic 105.
Thank you.
Never been here before.
Never been. Thank you so much for having me.
My goodness, what a time though.
Yes.
I wish I had you in happier times. But in times of crisis, what must be done must be done.
Must be done. Definitely.
This is crazy, eh?
It's getting out of hand, but I believe our government, the government is controlling.
Yeah.
And we must, as the private sector now, join hands and support the initiatives and directives that are issued by the government and the Ministry of Health. That's very important.
It's very important, and I totally agree with you. I saw you with CS Mutahi Kagwe, and you are launching a product. Please tell me about it, because this, and if you're listening, please pay attention, because this could be the game changer. Tell me about it, please.
Yes, thank you. This was last Sunday. First of all, it's important to know that the government has made it possible and has put all efforts to make sure that across the country they have equipments within radiology, in imaging as well. And of course, what they have been doing, because of some areas lack doctors known as radiologists. However, all the counties, they have radiographers. Now, during the scanning, when the radiographer takes the scans and does the scans to patient, there is the radiologist who must interpret what is in the image. And that is the doctor who says this is the infection that he can be able to detect. And therefore, those radiologists are not as many as the radiographers. And therefore, what the government, in conjunction with the private sector, have been doing is to make sure that they integrate those equipments, they integrate all the counties to make sure that they can be able to communicate with each other. For example, if there's somebody in a radiographer in Kisumu and does not have, that institution does not have a radiologist, then
to interpret the images,
they can be able to reach somebody in Moyale or somebody in Lamu or Malindi or even in Meru and tell them, look, I have this image, I'm unable to interpret. Please, we don't have a radiologist, and the radiologist from the other end then will be able to interpret that image real time. The patient, as the patient is waiting, the radiologist will be able to prescribe and say, this is the what is affecting you, this is a broken limb, or this is, we can identify a tumor within your brain, or we can identify some abnormalities within your
system,
and your system. And therefore, I can say we must commend the government by doing so. Now, coming back to Sunday, this was the launch of a city center in Kenyatta Hospital. Now, that center comes now to serve all the other 47 counties in the country in terms of making sure that they can be able to interpret for them, and more so to make sure that there is adequate services in this country, and they're going to be serving not only our country but also the region.
Wow.
Now, it's important that, first of all, I just define visual health. And I want to define it in two categories. There is telehealth, and there is also telemedicine. Now, telehealth is when there's broad definition which incorporates multiple modalities, including telemedicine, telemonitoring, administrative, and educational communication. Now, what we're talking today about is telemedicine, which is the use of information and communication technology for the specific purpose of clinical services focused on diagnosis and treatment. Today, now, I want to go today because of what's happening to Kenya.
Exactly, and around the world.
There's, of course, the coronavirus. And this is serious, minor. You have seen today when we woke up, we are told UK is on a lockdown. The Prime Minister, the President has announced there's a lockdown. There's a lockdown in Italy. There's a lockdown in China. It is serious when you hear the CS Mutahi Kagwe telling us we must observe the directives which have been issued by the government, by the President, that we must isolate ourselves, we must observe hygiene. It is very important to go that way. Now, this coronavirus is a large family virus which may cause illness in animals and also humans as well. Now, in humans, there are several coronaviruses which are known to cause respiratory infections. And from the common colds, the flus, and those are the common coronavirus. But there is this one which is most recent.
The COVID-19.
And this is the coronavirus disease, which is COVID-19. That is what now I think we are talking about.
Yes.
This equipment that was launched last Sunday by the CS Mutahi Kagwe has come in handy. Now, myself, as the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has been monitoring and following keenly what Wuhan city has been doing in terms of curbing that disease.
And controlling
I'm in conversation with the embassy in Kenya. I'm in Chinese embassy. I'm in conversation with Chinese private sector counterparts from those countries in various cities, in Hubei, in Beijing, in Shenyang, in Guangzhou, in Shenyang. And all these people have been monitoring exactly what they're doing. Today, you hear they have managed to curb the disease completely, 100%.
Yes.
And what happened, it is important for of course, what the government is doing, very important in terms of making sure there are rapid tests, they're checking your blood to identify the disease. But what happens is also, it is important to have a screen at the first stages. Now, this screen comes to screen your chest. It screens and identifies whether you've been infected, whether your lungs are infected. You know what happens to your lungs? It becomes hard like tarmac. It becomes hard like glass. And therefore, what happens is this software that was generated and developed in China, but by one of the private companies known as Neosoft Medical Systems, a company that is also working with Kenyans here. I spoke to them and I said, look, we would like to know what you have done so that this COVID-19 has been eradicated in Wuhan city. And they said, we have developed an app which has come to assist any other medical devices, which has come to assist any other tests. And what happens is that these CT scan can be able to do as many tests as possible. 200 tests in a day, 300 tests in a day. And that way, the doctor will be able to identify if your lungs are not infected, then definitely you don't have the COVID-19.
Yes.
And definitely you isolate, you're told to go home. If they see a sign of any infection within your lungs, then you're a case that is worrying, and what they do immediately is to isolate you, and you get your medical treatment immediately. And therefore, this app, when it was developed, it was the first in the world, the artificial intelligence, which reports on its own. There are many other artificial intelligence apps, but this particular one was developed to detect COVID-19, which is known as the golden eye. And therefore, this company, together with the Chinese government, they wanted to take this innovation and the technology to other parts of the countries in Africa. I think they were looking at Egypt. I think they were also looking at South Africa, and other countries that are more, advanced than Kenya. And I said, look, we must negotiate with these people.
We need it here.
We need it here as a matter of urgency. And there was a lot of negotiations, about 1 month, and we did negotiate, and I approached the government and I said, look, there's this app, you must listen to these people. And I'm happy that the CS Mutahi Kagwe was very fast. Him having been a person in communication, he understands what telemedicine is, and he spoke to this company, he spoke to the ambassador, and I think that was when they decided they must have this. Today, Kenyatta is the first center in Africa, the second
have this
in the world. Wuhan was the first in the world.
So Nairobi is the second in the world.
It is a second and the first in Africa. I think this is an achievement, a milestone.
It is huge.
Has achieved.
So let me ask you a question. So I'm sitting here and I've got maybe some breathing problems. But I'm in Moyale. What do I do as a Kenyan? Can I go and get scanned? And
of course, the first thing you do is to seek medical attention. The first thing you do is to make sure if you can reach out to any hospital, any services in terms of ambulance, so that they can be able also to support you. Go to the nearest clinic or hospital so that they can just do a quick diagnosis of what is affecting you. After which, if they see that there's something that needs more intervention, then you can go for the screening. You can go for the testing. You can go to the lab. You can go to the screening. Once you do the screening, for example, in whichever county you are, if they have a CT scan, most of them now they have a 64 slice CT scanner. That means 64 slice means that that scanner can take 64 images within one rotation. And if they take that scan, they will not, because they don't have that app, they will be able now to transmit it to Kenyatta Hospital. And Kenyatta Hospital will be able now.
When I'm sitting there.
When you're sitting there, Kenyatta Hospital will be able to check that scan, that image, and if they see it's a complicated case, if they see it is an acute pneumonia, for example, and the radiologist there needs to somebody else to intervene, then they can use what we call teleconference through cloud imaging, through PACS system. They can be able now to connect to other parts of the world. Now, this will be Wuhan. They can do China, Beijing, Dubai. They can go to Paris. They can go to any part of the world, America. And they can be able to discuss like 6 doctors, 6 specialists who can be able now to look at the image live, discuss it, and see what is the image telling them. Is it infected with pneumonia? Is it COVID-19? What is it?
Well, I'm still sitting there.
While you still seated there, Minor, it is real time. That is why it's called a golden eye. And once each of them discuss and they agree on this is what this patient is suffering from, then they'll be able to give a prescription immediately. And that is what we call now teleconference and telemedicine. New technology, innovation, and I think this is what we need today here in Kenya Minor. We let us embrace digital economy. I think this is what we
this is exactly what we are talking about. So the government now has embraced it. That's a good thing. So in a short while, we'll be able to get a footprint of exactly how far we are in as far as COVID-19 is concerned. And then the government will be able to plan for it accordingly.
Yes.
Wow. Now, how did you get to even know about this technology? Then they were thinking of Egypt and South Africa, maybe even Nigeria. How did you convince them, hey, boss, come to Kenya?
I think Minor, we just need to be proactive. You can see what is happening to Kenya. When our case was just one case, I sat and said, look, this is going to get serious. This is going to get serious. We must get intervention. As of yesterday, Minor, I will be very frank with you. We were discussing with many parts of the world, and they don't have medical devices. Most of the countries have actually locked down, and they're saying they're not going to sell to other parts of the world because they want to keep them for themselves. I was there negotiating with China. They must consider Kenya, because at one point we'll need medical devices. We will need them. Minor. We will need ventilators. We will need such equipments to come and help us even breathe and help the patients here in Kenya, so that we can be able also to cope with the demand that is coming. So we just need to be proactive. We need to get out of our boardrooms. We need to think out of the box.
True.
And this is what the Kenya National Chamber is about. Within all the 47 counties, Minor, because we have our offices within those chambers, I'm telling my National Governing Council, it is time now. We must sensitize the public. We must disseminate this information to the public. We must get serious. You have seen in most cases, some people now, like last week, they were going to the bar saying, because it's our last time, we must drink heavily. You have seen in South Africa, Minor, they were even celebrating what coronavirus, in terms of even there's a dance now called coronavirus. I think, Minor, it is time now people get serious. You have seen what has happened to South Africa. It's on a lockdown as we speak. So I think we embrace what the government is telling us to do, but we'll discuss further.
Okay, let me ask you a question, because, by the way, congratulations. Thanks for bringing this thing to Kenya. So that should now give every Kenyan assurance that should they be suffering from something that is respiratory, they can go get checked, and then the clinic can now either refer them for a scan, which can then be interpreted in real time. And that is technology that's available in all counties.
Now, all counties.
Yeah.
They have the imaging equipments.
Yeah.
They have radiology equipments. They're doing X-rays.
Yeah.
They're doing MRIs.
Yeah.
They're doing CT scans.
Yeah.
So don't feel shy. Make sure whenever you feel that you have these symptoms of coughing, sneezing,
heavy chest,
lack of breath.
Yeah.
Just go to your nearest hospital and get medical attention.
Yeah.
They will be able to advise you on whether you'll get now further advice.
And by the way, this is something that's not available anywhere else in Africa. We are the second country in the entire world to have this technology. Thank you so much.
For the golden eye.
Yes, golden eye, the golden eye. Now, as the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, there's another element here. As the government seeks to control the spread of this disease in Kenya, businesses are slowing down. Many are shutting down. People are being told to stay home. We're not like America, where President Trump, first of all, sent a check of $1,000 to each and every American. We don't have that capability. There is an economic fallout. As the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, what can you advise the government to do? Because Monanchi needs some help. They will need some help. If someone's going to stay home for weeks on end, and they normally used to live from hand to mouth, how do you tell that person stay home? What did you advise the government to do as the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry?
Let us speak candidly. As the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry president and the fraternity, we'd want to engage the government. We'd want to persuade the government to look at the issues you've just raised. We know that most of the population in Kenya actually go out to look for daily wages. And what happens then, if these people are asked to stay home, it means they'll start wondering, where do I get my next meal from? Because most of these people, it's hand to mouth. They live hand to mouth. But as we persuade the government, it's important also we see either we join hands, the private sector, the development partners, and the government, to make sure that we come up with a kitty that will support this population in terms of providing them with food, make sure that they can be able to stay home, because once they have food, and we say there's going to be a lockdown for 15, 20 days, remember, those 20 days will mean so much to this country. To this country. And it will stop. I want to go back to Wuhan. Why there were so many deaths in a very short time. It is because, in the first place, people did not know there was that virus. So it spread very quickly. Now, when there was a lockdown, remember, somebody gets that infection and goes home and infects the entire family. Most of that population that died in Wuhan, actually, there were entire families swept. And therefore, we are saying, let us not get to that. We have now 15 or 16 cases in Kenya. I think the other 15 or 16. 16. There's 16 cases in Kenya. Let us pray that it does not go beyond that. So let us support the government. Let the government look at ways of supporting people in terms of staying back home. It is a very expensive exercise, but this must be done. We must give these people, we must provide them with food. We know there are those critical services that must be uninterrupted. This is provision of and providing services to the hospitals. Nurses, doctors must continue working. They are also essential services. Also, biomedical engineers must continue supporting the hospitals. But we have these people who are in construction. We have these people who are in casual laborers. Are so many. And therefore, those are the people we are saying, if we can provide some food for them and make sure that we give them, we work together with Kenya Red Cross, we work together with AMREF. Like, I want to commend AMREF. Yesterday, they provided even aeroplanes to go to Mombasa, Msambweni. Yes. Because we have 2 cases there, to make sure that they're supported in terms of issuing them with ventilators, so that they can continue breathing properly. So let's see how the government can support in terms of giving that kitty, but also moving forward. A certain fund must be put aside, by the government, and this will come to support all the interrupted services, interrupted companies, so that they can be able also to borrow that money, maybe even if it is interest free. We, as the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, has gone further, and I must commend the financial sector through the Kenya Bankers Association, where we signed an MOU some time back last year. We are able now to support our members. We are able to support the private sector, and through many other banking institutions, we are able now to persuade them to give soft loans, to give loans to SMEs, MSMEs. In fact, through the Inuka program, this app they call the Stawi. Now, a Mama Mboga or an SME, MSME can be able now to borrow between 5,000 to 250 Kenyan shillings through an app. Once you're in that system and once you're in the bank, get guidelines from your bank, you'll be able to get that minor. There are many other banks. There's Equity Bank. In financial inclusion, they are supporting us in terms of capacity building. They're supporting us in making sure somebody understands management in terms of preparedness of doing business and facing the market. And after that, then they're able to give them with loans and collateral free. By the way. Barclays the other day, this is ABSA now. ABSA, they were able to launch a product where they're giving up to 10 million shillings collateral free, but of course they'll have to do some due diligence. We as the chamber, we have gone ahead in negotiating with our counterparts in UAE, mainly Sharjah. We have signed with them, and you as the private sector now can be able to borrow money interest free, and you'll be given between 60 to 180 days. They will give you goods. They will give you money worth of goods, up to even 15 million shillings, 20 million worth of goods that you can be able now to bring here. Now, you don't have to go to Sharjah.
Wow.
Come to us as the chamber. Go to any chapter within your county, any Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The chairman, my chairmans are all there and ready waiting for you. The secretariat is there to support you. You must, of course, they will tell you the documents that they need for you to qualify for that. And after that, then once you qualify, then according to the LPO that you have in the institution that has given you that LPO, we'll discuss with them, and we shall now direct you to the people who will give you the goods that you're looking
to come and supply.
Those goods will be we'll use the logistics companies aggregating, and you get your goods here, and within 20 days you will get your goods. After those 180 days, then you can be able to pay back your money. It is interest free, and we're doing this also. Etihad Insurance has insured that program.
Wow. Listen, if you're a young person in business, please talk to the chamber, whichever county you are in. Information is power, and I keep telling young Kenyans that information is power. If you know where you can go for some assistance, you'll be sorted out. They're here. The chamber is there, and it's in each and every county. Let's just quickly go back to managing Corona, Ngatia. Can you talk to the service providers, the utility providers, because it's going to be a tough time. Electricity needs to keep running. Water needs to keep coming through our taps. Water is the most important tool in the fight against this virus. Are you talking to the water authorities? Are you talking to Kengen or Kenya Power?
I will talk to them. I've been speaking with them, and I will talk to them again, and I will remind them that it is paramount. It is important at this time round to provide those services, and especially water, minor. In terms of sanitation, in terms of making sure there is clean water, everybody today, our population today, must get adequate and clean water. We are talking that we hear from experts that you must wash your hands regularly. How do you wash your hands if you don't have water? So we are asking the authorities to make sure they supply water to places like Kibrap, to places like
Mukuru wa Jenga, everywhere.
Places, all those slums and many other areas as well, to make sure they supply water through their bowsers, to make sure that there is adequate water in even the upper even in the estates, to make sure there's water. This is not time to go and disconnect water. Minor, I'm also addressing Kenya Power and Lighting Corporation. And I would want to also urge the CS Energy, the PS Energy, to intervene. because we have seen a lot of disconnections of electricity. This is not time. We are being told stay at home. How do you stay at home right now without electricity? Because you have a bill of 5,000 shillings, you have a bill of 1,000 shillings. It is time they waive those intentions, they waive those tariffs at the moment. Let them hold them for at least those 90 days to make sure that people can access, have electricity there, power, whatever they can do. We are saying we want to work from home. Isn't it? And that's why we are talking of digital economy. We are saying we want to use emails. We are saying we want to use teleconferences. How do you do that if you don't have power, Maina?
You can't.
We want these organizations to realize that this time round you must also join the government seriously to make sure that we curb this disease.
Absolutely. Oh, wow, that's great. And it's nice to know we've got someone like you on our side as Wananchi. Just going back once again to the management of COVID-19, one thing I'm seeing on international television, and Americans are saying our nurses don't have enough masks and ventilators and this. Do we have those problems here in Kenya?
Right now, it's not a big problem as such. We know most of the countries are holding products to themselves. The other thing is, even though people like China, whether it is Vietnam, whether it is Turkey, those people also rely on raw materials from different parts of the world. Now, if there is a lockdown, then they can also not get. So whatever little they have, they want to preserve for themselves. But I'm saying, coming back to Kenya, yes, I know, and I'm sure that the government has prepared themselves well, and they are continuing to persuade other governments to support them in terms of making sure they have protective gear, they have masks if need be, and they have enough information to disseminate to the public. The Ministry of Health has been telling us, in fact, I'm happy that the Ministry of Health has come up now with a book that is a translation in many languages, so that those people within the Juakali sector, those people within other sectors, border and the rest, can be able to understand exactly what the ministry is trying to tell them in terms of making sure that they keep hygiene. And therefore, we would say that the ministry has been telling us, wash your hands, make sure whenever you get to your home, whatever clothes you wore that day, remove your clothes, put them in the bucket, take a shower if need be, make sure you distance yourself from your family at least 1 meter. All right? And it is also important that identify your cup, identify your plate, identify your spoon. So that within your home, you can identify your product, that those are what you're going to be using, so that you don't keep sharing. In case you're infected and you don't know, then you're also putting measures to make sure that
you
your
protect
son,
your family,
daughter, your family, your wife is not.
Do you know, I've not even thought of it like that. Masaibu ya mabachala. I don't even thought about it. Identify your spoon, identify your cup, identify your plate.
Yes, in my company I will tell you. I've said we normally cook for our staff, and I've said no more cooking. Let people go eat at home. If you want to carry your food, well, eat. Carry your food. You're not going to share food. You're not going to share plates. And that's what I've done.
Wow. My God, did you even know that? I didn't even know that. My goodness. Okay. You have really enlightened us. First of all, I want to thank the chamber, because I think you've done a fantastic job of bringing private sector together to support the government. This is technology that I'm so proud of, and hear it from you as a Kenyan just makes me even prouder. So congratulations and thank you. By the way, you heard what Mr. Ngatia said about support for your business. Please get down to any Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry office anywhere in your county. Ask them. You never know what you might be able to achieve. He just talked about you even being able to get goods that you're supposed to supply to someone delivered to you in an interest-free atmosphere. So talk to the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, tafadhali, because that could make a difference in your biashara. I'm just getting some tweets here about from young businessmen saying, Maina, please ask the president why can't we be able to reach him personally? There's a lot of people here who are saying, yes, you've come to the chamber, you're doing some great stuff. How can the public reach you, and how can they feel safe that you've received their comments and their questions?
Thank you for that question. One of the things, let me tell you, that I really want to have conversations with everyone. with the 47 million Kenyans.
Yes.
I want to have a conversation with them. However, I look for ways of discussing with them. One of those ways is what we're doing right now, Minor, so that I can disseminate that information that we have through the members of the fourth estate, through the media. I want to do that. It is not possible to talk to everyone. However, remember the chamber is devolved as well. We are in 47 counties. We have a national governing council. In every office we have a secretariat, we have the chairman, we have the vice chairman, we also have the board of that county. Within the national headquarters, we have the board as well, we have the secretariat, we have the CEO, and we have experts within our institution. And therefore, that is what we call corporate governance. If there is information that is pressing and you must definitely discuss with me, later on I'll give my address, my email address, so that you can also email us. Email me. I will be able to answer your questions anytime. But I'll tell you, don't feel shy. Wherever you are, just get to the chamber. Here in Nairobi, we have the Nairobi chapter. We also have the headquarters, and as well we have other chapters across the country. And we are going to take your word seriously. We are going to help you. We are going to assist you, and we are going to make sure that your business is sustainable. One of the things, Minor, we are doing in conjunction with the governing council is to make sure that they are supporting the graduates. They are supporting those in universities, so that now those graduates can be able to get interns. I have, like now, for example, Mandago. He has an initiative of paying for graduates. So for us as the chamber is to make sure that those graduates, we connect them, about 2,000, 3,000 of them, we connect them to companies so that they can go there as interns. But remember, we are also negotiating with the same companies. The same intern who has come to your place, can you secure their jobs in future? Once they graduate, can they come back and work there? Those are the initiatives you're having right now.
Wow, that is big. If you're a student, if you're listening, I hope you've heard that. So once again, if a student is in uni right now, they can get in touch with the chamber for more details.
Exactly. Precisely.
Whichever Jackson Mandago, round of applause. Thank you very much. And I think every county should have that, because the one thing I was going to ask you about, and you've just addressed it, is hope for our young people. They graduate, they've got their degrees, they've met their end of the bargain. Then society lets them down. And thanks so much for addressing that, because it is so important. There's going to be an economic downturn as a result of coronavirus. As a chamber, are you ready to deal with it?
As a chamber, what we're saying is we are making it possible to put every measure possible. One of the things we need, and this is my take, that we need to focus on productivity. In order for us to sustain our businesses, we need to support. A lot of support from the banking and fraternity and players in the financial sector. And we want to thank Safaricom, for example, for the initiative they have come up with in terms of transmitting of money. We need to build our local industries and cut reliance on imports. Minor, I am not sure whether you're aware that last year, when I was elected as a chairman of the Great Lakes region, which serves 12 countries, and it's important I name them because those are ready markets for our business people. We have Angola, Burundi, we have Central African Republic, we have Republic of Congo, we have Democratic Republic of Congo, we have now our country Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Republic of Sudan, and Tanzania, and also Zambia. Now, all these member states, these are 12. The Great Lakes region, GLR and ICGLR, I'm the chair, and I keep having conversations with them. But because of this, in terms you cannot travel and lockdown, I'm able to have conversations with them on what they need. Remember, most of the countries in this region actually depend on most imports in terms of food, in terms of essentials. They depend on that. Now we are saying, as Kenya, we know there is East African Community, we know there is a commercial region, we know there is SADC. We want now to penetrate the region of the Great Lakes region. We want to go DRC, minor, because I was there some time back.
Yeah.
In DRC, these people do not grow. Almost 90%, they don't grow anything.
The way their country is so
they
fertile.
take their imports from France.
Food.
Now, France will not be able today to import goods from any other countries.
True.
So what we are saying is, can we agree as heads of states in these regions, in these countries, tariffs, barriers, can we remove them so that we allow intertrade? Can we make sure that those way bridges, as we see our transport going there, our lorries and trucks, can we make sure we don't have multiple way bridges so that people can feel comfortable and it doesn't get too expensive to transport something? Because one of the reasons they say they don't want to get things from Kenya, it becomes very expensive to either airlift or to transport. Sometimes they say you want to get perishables. By the time it gets to DRC,
it's bad.
It's frozen.
I
mean, it's rotten. By the time goods are reaching via road to DRC,
zimeoza.
Zingine has become so expensive because of taxes and tariffs. So we want to urge this time of this pandemic, if we can have trade barriers unlocked completely. We want also to prepare ourselves for the African Continental Free Trade Area, so that we can be able now to trade freely in Africa. At large. So we are saying we are making every step to make sure that there's continuity, there is affordable loans, there is market linkages. It's only that we have now this problem, but we have been doing a lot in terms of making sure that we secure markets in our region. And it is time, minor. The population of Africa, do you know the population of Africa?
1 billion plus?
1.2 billion and growing every day, minor. So we are saying, what other market are we looking for? Why are we going to America?
That's true.
Why are we going to this? I know there are products we want to sell through AGOA. It is important. But through AGOA, what are we selling? There are 4,000 items of AGOA. We only deal with 116 items, minor. And we have ignored all the other 3,900 items. I think it is time now. We think outside of box. We discuss with the government. We sit with them and say, we must do this. Coming back to Africa, minor. All this, whether it is minerals, whether it is tea, whether it is coffee, whether it is rice, to add value to our products in terms of packing, add value to make sure that we get this market in Africa. We have seen a lot of people saying there's eggs coming from Uganda,
China,
there's milk coming from China, from Uganda that is expensive. It is now the government to make sure that we are competitive.
True.
Isn't it?
Yes.
It is time that we make sure that if it is fertilizer, it is affordable. These taxes are waived for the farmers so that they can be able to produce food. They can be able to farm and make sure that the produce they are getting is competitive with other parts of the region. If that is not possible, and we are getting competition from Uganda or Tanzania with their products,
we can't compete, can we?
There are certain products that we are very competitive. Then let us join hands as East Africa. Let us now look at the market of Nigeria. Nigeria, they're over 200 million. DRC, they are 80 million. Isn't it?
Yes.
Let us look at those markets where we can also be able to make sure that we sell things on a daily basis.
Got on a tweet here from a lady who is saying, if I'm a young businesswoman and I'm interested in what Mr. Ngatia has just talked about, investment opportunities, can I get guidance? And following up from what he said earlier, can I also get possible financial support?
Yes. Like I said, remember, I said that in partnership with many other banks, Cooperative Bank, there's Tujiajiri, there is Sidian Bank, there is
ABSA,
there's ABSA, there's Equity Bank, and also Equity Foundation, Cooperative Bank, and many other banks we're in partnership with. You will be able now to get finance. Just go to your bank. Show them what you have, the LPO you have. They will be able to scrutinize the documents that they ask you to provide, and they will give you. You don't need to go with a collateral. Today, what you need to do, join the chamber. I have talked of Sharjah.
Yeah.
I didn't talk of Oman, but we have a similar package with Oman as well, with Qatar as well. So you come, we are going to do due diligence, come with your documents, make sure it's a registered company, make sure you have compliance certificates, your account details are updated, make sure the CRB also, because we're also discussing with CRB to make sure that they don't just block somebody because of certain, sometimes even an account is dormant.
True.
And you have certain ledger fees of 5 shillings. And you see CRB blocking you. So we are in discussion with them, in fact, to make sure that we work with them closely.
Yeah.
Actually, within CRB, I don't have to name the name by name.
Yeah.
One of them is our chair in our committee.
Wow.
That way, they'll be able now to support our members and tell them exactly what you need so that you're not blocked out.
Okay.
So we are working with them very closely. So again, coming to that lady, come to us as the chamber. If you're in Nairobi, come to headquarters or Nairobi chapter.
Yeah.
We shall be able now to support you fully, 100%. But you also, for you to get these amounts from the organizations I'm talking about overseas, you must be a member of the chamber. And remember, charges sometimes it is 1,000 shillings.
True.
Sometimes it's 5,000 depending on your capacity.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 30,000 depending on the number of employees you have.
Yeah.
50,000, 100,000. So we are saying, you as the SME, you're paying that for 1 year to get information, to get markets, to get financial inclusion, to get so many partnerships with development partners, the government, and also corporates as well. So that amount you're paying is negligible.
Yeah.
In case you may want to have a scheduled payment plan, that again, you discuss with the chairman of that particular county. They'll be able to guide you on how you become a member, and how you can also benefit from the
chamber.
The chamber.
You know, and this is what I love about sitting here with you. You've just given us a roadmap out of the economic downturn that's going to come. If you're in Biashara, please join the chamber. The leads, the business opportunities you can get are enormous. Funding, goods on credit, interest-free loans. You can't get that anywhere else. If you're in Biashara, no matter what you're selling, whether you're selling wigs, whether you're selling cosmetics, talk to the chamber, join the chamber. The opportunities are endless. And I want to say thank you so much for coming in, because you've really opened up our minds. But Kenyans were not thinking like that. We're thinking, how am I going to survive? How is my Biashara going to survive? There's help waiting for you at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So please get down to any of the offices countrywide. They're in each and every county. Join the chamber. Think of Africa, like you said, 1.2 billion people. Which other market are we looking for?
Yes. I want also you look at, take advantage of AGPO.
Yes.
You as the youth, you who called.
Yeah.
The one who just sent an email.
A tweet,
Yes. The opportunities that are availed in the government, and especially the big four. Take advantage. Go to AGPO. Make sure.
What is AGPO? Just for people
who access to government procurement. Opportunities. This, if you go to Ministry of Devolution, then they'll be able. Actually, it's been led by CAS Shebesh. Most of the ladies know her. Go to her. Tell her you have this LPO and you want this opportunity. They'll give you money. They have more than 200 billion to give to the youth, to women especially. We want to make sure that we are now walking to the ministries as the chamber and see, why are you not giving the 30% that has been allocated by the government to the youth
and women
in business and women in business. So we want to support women in business. We want to support youth in business in making sure that they sustain their businesses in terms of capacity building them. We are working very closely also with TVET to make sure that these people have the knowledge. We are working also very closely with the World Technical Skills. These people are coming to support us. They're from Germany. They support us in terms of making sure their technical skills, most of the times minor. You will find a graduate coming to seek for job opportunities, but you don't get. You end up and you're told the job opportunities that are available, it's either you're a mechanic, or you want to do to become a biomed, or you want to become a contractor, and therefore, and you don't have the skills. Therefore, you spend another 1 year going for technical
classes.
So we want to make sure that we are there from the beginning. you are equipped with the proper skills and capacity build so that we prepare you for the market.
Amen. And listen, if you're wondering, your biashara is downsizing, maybe it's shutting down because of this, what we're going through right now, and you're wondering, how am I going to get back up? Please look for the help you require at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. They're there, and they're there to help you and advise you and hold your hand, and it's going to open more opportunities for you. So please take a note of what Mr. Ngatia has been saying this morning, because this gentleman here and the organization he leads could be the difference between your biashara stagnating where it is and it going and getting to a whole new level. So please contact the chamber. If you're in biashara, join the chamber. Those are the two cardinal rules, and we'll be all good. President Ngatia, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much for the partnership of bringing this technology to Kenya.
Thank you.
From China, because now we are able, our doctors can liaise. We're able to handle it quicker. You can get help quicker.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank His Excellency the President and his government. I must also thank the CS Mutahi Kagwe. I want to thank the PS as well, Susan, and I also want to thank Kenyatta National Hospital for taking time and the initiative to allow that up. And remember, something that I didn't mention and very important. China has given that technology for free.
You know, there are many times I sit here with Mwalimu and we normally give you kayamba, right? Next to you down there. Can you see a kayamba there?
Yes, I see it.
Please shake it for China for giving us that technology for kayamba for China. For free. Asante sana, Mr. Ngatia.
Thank you.
And thanks for putting it together. And thanks for your dedication and keep doing a good job. The youth of Kenya now are going to really need you to guide them as an entire generation, to open their minds and also handhold them, because you've got the knowledge, you've got the contacts, you've got everything. So the youth and young ladies will be looking to you to really help them drive their businesses forward, and I'm sure you're going to do it for them. You promised us your email address. That's what I'm being asked here. Kenyans don't forget. Okay, if you'd like to get in touch with President Richard Ngatia of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, how do they get in touch with you?
Get me through my email, President Kenya Chamber .co.ke.
President Kenya Chamber.co.ke.
Thank you.
Period. That is it. President Kenya Chamber.co.ke. Send any questions. If you need guidance, he'll be able to then direct you to where you need to go. But for making time for coming, I say thank you.
Asante
Have
sana,
yourself a great day. I'll be in touch. If there's anything you'd like to talk to anyone about, I'm always here.
Thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners for listening to us.
Asante sana, and have yourself a great day.
Have a good day.